Paul Kelly for ESBR Boxing. I'm joined by Sam Gilley. Sam, how are you?
All good, mate. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. Thanks. All good. Can't complain. We'll get straight into it. Just firstly, how are you feeling then? Just a couple of weeks now. We are away from fight night. How's training going? And yeah, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot different being upper weight, so it's a lot easier. I feel the difference I can feel when I'm training is I didn't realise how drained I felt when I was training when I was making welter. Do you know what I mean? This is just opened my eyes massively to how much better I can perform in the gym, and it's going to well hopefully pay off on the night.
You're obviously up against Daniel Larty. Do you know a lot about him and what he brings to the table?
I know he can punch, but there's not really a lot to know. I mean, go out there, take a look at him for a round, and then I don't really think that sort of level. I don't really think there's anyone that's going to bother me too much, like until I start stepping up throughout the division. So I don't really see him causing me many problems. But no, I don't know too much about him.
That was going to be my next question, but you mentioned it already about he's clearly got some power because he's 14 wins, 12 have come by stoppage, so he clearly carries a lot of power. Is this something that you'll have to be wary of then, especially early?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, you got to respect every single fighter, but I mean, I've been in with heavy-handed boys in sparring, in fights and stuff. So there's always ways around it, and you can use it against them. So we've just got to be clever for a couple of rounds, and then once he starts to blow out, then just turn the screw each round.
So obviously you're coming off the back of your first defeat of your career, which was to Danny Ball back in March, I believe.
Yes.
What are your reflections on that fight and how it went in general?
Listen, I ain't gonna make excuses. I mean, I still, when I watched the fight back, I still thought I nicked it by a round. But I said to some people that I said that they thought I drew. A couple of other people in my family said that they thought that Danny won. So I'm never going to argue or take it away from Danny. He boxed a great fight. But in the second round, I said to Rod, I said, mate, I am fucked. And I've been training for however, like 12, 14, whatever it was, doing 10 rounds down at Matchroom with Ted Cheeseman, with Felix Cash, Conor Bit. Like I was doing 10 straight off and finishing strong. And mate, it just proved like it was just one too many times down at welter, because from the second round onwards, I just had no gas. So obviously that was the first major sign of that it was just too much for me that time. But you live and learn, don't you? And it's probably a good thing, like in the long run, that I just get beat on points. I learned to move up, and now I can have a proper crack at a division where I actually feel fresh.
So that's you then. No more welterweight, 100%.
No.
Super welterweight now.
Yeah, super welterweight now. No more welterweight. But I mean, do you know what? It's mad because I still made the weight easily. Like it weren't like, yeah, I didn't feel great, and like when I was training, I was still doing 10 rounds and feeling like relatively fresh. But like it would like if I'd done a hard 10 rounds, the next day I'd have to have an easier day. Whereas now I can train twice a day, and then tomorrow I can train twice again. Like I've just got that recovery back in me. But yeah, no more welterweight for me. I mean, like I started when I entered lockdown and I won the Southern area. I think I was 25. Mm-hmm. Like I've had one fight, now all of a sudden I'm 27. Like so, and just gradually as you get older, you start naturally thinning out a little bit, and it was just time for me to go up, mate.
So obviously domestically, at 154, there's still a lot of, obviously there was a really mad domestic scene as well at 147, yeah. But at 154 it's still stacked, and we saw a fight there, a couple of fights at the weekend. At 154, what did you make of them on the card in Liverpool?
Oh, do you know what? I mean, that the Matchroom card, I've not seen fights like that on all together on one night, one after the other. That was a wicked card. Like to sit there as a fan and watch that was great, and to think I could be amongst them boys is even better. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, like credits to every single one of the boys. They was unbelievable on that night.
And then on any of those fights, you know, Fowler, Williamson, Cheeseman, any of those tickle your fancy in the future?
listen, down the line, who knows? Do you know, like I'm always going to say yes to big fights and putting myself into positions like that. But like I've just come off a loss, and if people seem to forget that I was at Southern area level, and then because of like fighting in front of no crowds, people were getting opportunities that they wouldn't normally get, and then all of a sudden I jumped in for a WBC. So like I've had two 10-rounders straight off. So now I've still got loads to learn. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, them fights are probably 18 months away for me. Like I'd like to get this fight in, potentially fight for the English title. I know that's vacant at the weight at the minute. Defend that, and then open up the door to whoever in the division. But my team will all advise me on that as well. But listen, I'll say this, and then you get offered something a little bit spicy, and you can't resist sometimes, can you? So who knows?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So obviously, you never overlook an opponent, obviously, but part of you still wants to look into the future. So is it just a matter of getting ideal situation, getting back to winning ways in a few weeks' time? Then probably is that it for 2021 and kick on hopefully in 2022?
Well, listen, if I got offered a fight in December, I'm taking it. I've been out of the ring, like I had a year out of the ring for the Danny Ball fight, and then like it's nearly the end of the year again. So I want to be as active as possible. Do you know what I mean? I want to keep learning on the job, and then throw my hat. The quicker I learn and the quicker I have fights, the quicker I can throw my name into the hat for massive fights. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to be as busy as possible. Whether that's actually going to be doable, that's down to MTK. So we just have to wait and see. But I'd love to fight again in December.
Obviously, you were a massive welterweight. I believe you're around 6 foot. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you're still going to be a relatively big light middleweight. So do you still feel like that's definitely going to be one of your advantages, size over your opponents?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm still tall. I mean, Kieran Conway, I think he's 5'11".
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him at the weekend, and he's obviously a big. Sometimes I forget how tall I am. You know, I look at him and think, oh, he's a big super welter, and I'm taller than he is. So, but I mean, physically, I'll grow into the weight, like, because obviously I've spent ages thinning myself down for fights. So I mean, MTK sent me a poster today, and I was like, mate, we've got to change that picture because I look ill. Because it was just the day before a weigh-in for a welterweight fight, and I was like, mate, we need some new pictures. But so I will grow into the weight as well, and yeah, I believe it's a weight I can be strong at for a long time.
So you're fighting at the famous York Hall. What do you think of that as a venue, and especially now that fans are going to be backed all in the small arena cheering for you?
I mean, it's great for the fans, and I mean the atmosphere is brilliant. But they need more showers in that gaff. I'm telling you, they've got one shower. Yeah, every time I fight there, I think because you know you're going to get the dressing room with a one shower as well. So you're trying to warm up, and there's 30 people queuing for the shower, and the floor's soaking wet, and you're trying to warm up, and you're skating about. It's an absolute nightmare for the fighters. But in terms of for the fans and stuff, it's one of the best venues around, ain't it? I mean, everyone's just on top of the ring, no matter where they're sat. I've done a good number of tickets. And it'll be so. I mean, my last fight, it was just eerie walking out and no one being there. I was like, yeah, it's weird. Like even going, like when you landed a good shot, you don't hear nothing. It was strange. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having everyone back in there making a noise.
You mentioned earlier that the English title is vacant at the minute.
Yeah.
At your new weight. So is that something that you're looking for? Hopefully in 2022, and then like more of the traditional route. So win that, maybe defend a couple of times, Commonwealth, British, etc. Is that the plan?
Yeah. Well, this is what I've said originally from day dot. Even when I was at Welter, I was like, I want to do the traditional route because I believe that you learn more along that way. I mean, I see a post earlier, and it actually proves. I mean, Echo Usman and Troy Williamson, they was behind Josh Kelly and Anthony Fowler in the GB ranks. But because they wasn't the Olympian getting signed to Matchroom, who jumped the domestic scene and go straight to world level, them boys have now come unstuck and been beat. And the boys that have come from a smaller hall show and built their way through the division slowly, the traditional way, are now both British champions, undefeated. So I think playing the long game sometimes in the pro ranks, obviously, like I'm saying, you learn. I want to learn as much as I can before I go into them big fights, so that you're going in there like fully like a complete fighter. Do you know what I mean? Just you've learned everything. You're now ready to just take on the world. But yeah, the traditional route for me is I think it's the best way.
So, talk to me a bit about the camp so far. Then, I know I asked you at the start how it's going, but has there been any particular sparring set? Not that I'm going to ask you about sparring sessions, but I mean, who have you been sparring? Have you been getting bigger guys built around this opponent, or just general guys?
I mean, I've got JK, who trains with he boxes for Frank Warren. He's 2-0. Jordan Dijon, they're boys that are down my gym. Bo Reynolds as well. They're boys I can spar in the Lorana gym. And the Matchroom boys have just moved to around the corner, so we're down there every Wednesday. I'm there tomorrow. I've been sparring Ted, done a couple of rounds with Connor just before his fight at the start of the camp. But I'm down there tomorrow, so I don't know whether that'll be Felix Cash, that might be John Ryder, that might be whoever. Do you know what I mean? So we go down there every Wednesday as well. And but yeah, mate, whenever sparring comes our way, it's always great because it's great learning. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, sparring's been good. It's been good, especially having a few more, because before it was only me, Dan, RJs. Now that we've attracted a few more pros, the sparring in-house, I mean, some of the wars that me and the boys have, even though we're learning on the spars, I mean, you'd like some of the people that pay to watch it. So it's good to have that in-house as well.
And I suppose then that brings the best out of not just you, but everybody, the competitiveness and the sparring, and all training and kind of buzzing alongside each other. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, so I used to go over to the track and I was on my own and I'm doing my times and stuff. But now, I mean, Jordan, I've never seen someone so quick. So I'm like, now I've got someone to chase. And I might beat him for a lap, then he beats me for 2, then I'll beat him for 2. So it's good to have that, and we're all competitive lads as well. So it's nice to have that over there, and in every aspect of our training, no matter what we're doing, everyone's trying to one up the other. So it's good.
So the fight's now just 2.5 weeks or so away. What is this final 17 days? I think is. What does that look like for you? How do you start tapering down shortly? How does it look for you?
Well, I mean, it's a bit different, ain't it? Because this is the first time I've done it where I'm not trying to, like, the weight was more of a concern than the actual fighting. So I mean, Greg Marriott always got me there fighting, but that was more of, in my head, that was more of the battle than the training. The training was the fun part. So this will be a bit different. I mean, we're barely. I mean, the food I'm eating is like, it doesn't really feel like I'm dieting, because I'm eating such big portions and quite often during the day. So I don't really know, to be fair. I mean, we stick to our training plan till about 6 days out, and then we start obviously tapering down. But so I can't see that being any different. But up until then, the hard work carries on. But yeah, so hopefully we can get a few more games of golf in on a Friday as well, because that's something legit. Oh, mate, yeah. Me and the boys from the gym, every Friday we knock off at 12 and we all go and have a game of golf. So I mean, I say I go and play. I'm more digging around in bushes for most of it. But yeah, it's nice to break the week up from the boxing.
Big golfer myself as well. So
I see that on your WhatsApp picture. Yeah, that's what I thought I'd mention.
Yeah, I'm okay. I've been playing since I was about 14, so about 8 or 9 years. But I love it. It's class. Can't beat it.
Oh, mate, honestly, I mean, it's. Do you know? I obviously, since I was 11, boxing has been everything for me. It was my hobby. Now it's my job. Like, so, and I need something to break this up, because now I'm working in the gym as well, and we'll go and play golf. And mate, and people say to me, "You're going to have a nice, relaxing game of golf." I've never once relaxed on that golf course. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It makes boxing look easy. So, but it's quite good mentally as well, because obviously, like, you're trying to do things and it's just not working out, but you've got to pull yourself through mentally, otherwise your whole round's going to be fucked. So it's been a really, really good experience trying to learn golf alongside boxing.
No, definitely. And finally, I just wanted to ask you then, what can we expect from Sam Gilley come fight night?
Oh, mate, a knockout, 100%. I've not. So I think it's 2 fights on the spin now. I've not knocked no one out. I think that's the longest I've gone in my career. So I'm dying for a knockout. So I'll be going all guns blazing.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to watching the fight. Thanks very much, Sam. Really appreciate your time. Cheers, thanks for chatting to ESBR.
Top man. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Sam. Thanks very much.